Hey, I'm David Castleberry and welcome back to the San Francisco Wine Trading Company. I don't know about those last couple videos, but it is the Wine Trading Company. Let's get this out of here. Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite regions, Burgundy, specializing Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. And we're going to focus initially on Chablis, the northernmost appellation, closer to Champagne, cool climate, limestone soils with a lot of chalk and fossilized oyster shells, known as Kimmeridgian. The producer we're going to try today is Vocoret. Ralph. 2018, stellar vintage, Chablis, a departure from the California style, not oaky, not buttery, based upon purity of minerality, clean, precise, fresh, delicious styles of Chardonnay. The wines here are typically unoaked, aged primarily in stainless steel, 18 smoke show vintage. These wines are really geared for the long term. Flinty, stony, mineral driven, just excellent, excellent wines. Classic pairings with oysters, before a meal, breakfast if you're on vacation. I love Chablis. I might even be sponsored by them. Now, another Chardonnay. We're moving into the Côte d'Or, also known as Burgundy proper. The Côte d'Or roughly translates to Golden Slope, a series of gently rolling hills through Burgundy, starting in Dijon. We're going to start in the southernmost region, the Côte de Beaune. When we're talking about Burgundy, we are talking about Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. And when we're talking about the Côte d'Or, we're talking about the Côte de Nuit, famous for the reds, and the Côte de Beaune, famous for their whites. Côte de Beaune in the south, again limestone soil, not too dissimilar from Chablis, but virtually no chalk, and we're looking at a little more clay in the soil, which gives wines of more structure, more power. The producer we're trying today is Pierre-Yves Colin-Morey, one of my favorite producers. This is a Bourgogne Blanc, which essentially means Chardonnay from Burgundy. Mind blown. PYCM, as we affectionately refer to him, has been producing wine under his own label since 2005. He's the oldest son of Marc Colin, one of the more famous producers in the appellation. We are lucky to know that most of his holdings are in Chassagne-Montrachet. So even if it's labeled as a appellation wine, Bourgogne Blanc, we know that the majority of this fruit is coming from Chassagne, one of my favorite communes. The Chardonnays from this appellation typically have a little more structure, a little bit riper fruit profile. We're still not looking at Napa Valley, but the fruit is a little bit riper. It can handle some more oak, so you will see a little more oak on these wines than in Chablis for sure, but not to the degree of what you're going to see in other appellations around the world. PYCM, awesome producer. Since starting his Domaine in the mid-2000s, he's really kind of skyrocketed in regards to how his abilities as a winemaker. I think he's terrific. I think, in my opinion, maybe one of the top 10 white winemakers in Burgundy. This guy's killing it. Again, 18, great vintage, super age-worthy. These wines are awesome. Ooh, Ralph's got the shakes. Mondays are at it again. At least he's got good taste too, eh? Cheers, Ralph. To being off training. Nice catch. These wines, because of the structure and that little bit of oak profile, can handle some richer dishes food-wise. Moving a chicken, you can get a lobster. Get creative. So to recap our white Burgundies, our Chardonnays, Chablis $24.95 from Vocoret, unoaked, steely, mineral driven. The Pierre-Yves Colin-Morey Bourgogne Blanc 2018 $42.95, a little bit riper, a little more oak profile, but still really clean, classic, mineral driven styles of Chardonnay. We're going to finish off here in the Côte de Nuit. Ralph, our producer here is Hudelot-Baillet. Again, when dealing with an appellation wine like this, a Bourgogne Rouge, a Pinot Noir from Burgundy, it's really important to note where the producer is located, because then you can figure out where the fruit's coming from. In this instance, we're looking at fruit from Chambol-Musigny, one of my favorite communes in the Côte de Nuit, a commune known for producing very pretty, ethereal, aromatic styles of Pinot Noir. And this, I think, is textbook red Burgundy. I prefer the 17 vintage for reds over whites. They just have a lushness to them, not ripe, but they're very forgiving. They're just screaming, drink me. Super perfumed, aromatic, silky texture. If this wine was on my table, you would assume there's a hole in the bottle because this bad boy is going down. Great producer that de-stems, so the wines show much better in their youth. Not using a lot of new oak, they let the purity of the vineyard and the expression of Pinot Noir from this specific appellation show through. So not going to be a fruit and oak bomb, again, like you see from other wines in different appellations. The French use the term terroir a lot, which you see in Burgundy specifically. It doesn't have a direct translation, but generally it's referring to the aspect of the vineyard, the climate, the soil type, the way the vines are grown, and all of those things add to the element of the grape being Pinot or Chardonnay as a pipeline from that terroir to the glass. The hand of the winemaker is secondary to the emphasis of terroir in the vineyard. The Hudelot-Baillet on the shelf for $32.95. I think that's a ganga. All right, well, thank you for joining us in the Burgundy crash course. A lot to take in, but you know, Burgundy's a fun region with some really delicious wines. And if you have any questions, we're always here, happy to help. I'm the Berg Slayer, ask for me by name, and I'll get you hooked up. And if you like the video, like us on YouTube.
Hey David, have you seen my Boston shaker?
No.
Strange.